In this video, I'll be going through the 48 laws of power, and today I'll be covering law number 28, law number 29, and law number 30. Law number 28 says, enter action with boldness. If you want something in life, you have to approach it with confidence and boldness. Nothing in life has ever been made better by shyness, by timidity, by hesitation. It just doesn't happen. Approaching a girl, if you hesitate, chances are you will get rejected. Doing a backflip, if you hesitate, chances are you'll break your neck. In a negotiation, if you hesitate, chances are you won't get what you want. If you are shy and timid, you won't even be able to convince yourself that you can do what you want to do, let alone convincing other people. The man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he cannot are both usually correct. Enter action with boldness. Imagine you're interested in somebody and you want to approach them romantically. If you approach them hesitantly, you will look unsure and uncertain about what your intentions are, and it's unlikely that you'll succeed. A much more successful approach would be to simply say, I like you and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours. If that bold, confident approach doesn't work, then chances are it probably wasn't meant to be. The bolder you are, the more confident you are, the higher your chances of success. Here is another example. When I was younger, I had a BMX bike, and one day I went to the shop and I locked it to a lamppost. Unfortunately, I lost the key and I had to acquire some tools so I could release my bike from the lamppost. As I was doing it, I realized something. People were just watching me dismantle the lock and take my bike. That bike could have belonged to literally anybody else. They had no evidence that the bike was mine. How did they know that I wasn't stealing it? The answer is I did it in broad daylight. There was nothing suspicious about me. Nothing looked sneaky. It all looked okay. I looked as though I was supposed to be there, taking away the bike, and nobody batted an eyelid. The point of this is not to steal bikes. The point is, in anything that you do, if you're confident, if you're bold, if you act as though you are supposed to be there, then you are much more likely to succeed. This is for two reasons. Number one, you convince yourself that you're supposed to be there. And number two, you convince others that you're supposed to be there. People can sniff confidence and authenticity in just the same way as people can sniff a fraud. In anything you do, it could be a YouTube channel, it could be an event you're organizing, it could be a new business. Make sure that you're not shy, timid, or hesitant. Enter action with boldness. Law number 29 says, plan all the way to the end. We all know the saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. People don't just stumble into success. Success is the result of intentional, careful, and diligent planning. Without a plan, you will become easily distracted from your goals. Without a plan, you will have no idea what to do when you face obstacles. And without a plan, you are much more likely to give up. Plan, plan, plan. Plan all the way to the end. If you are listening to this video, then you probably know the benefits of planning. But did you know that planning is so important that if you somehow manage to achieve success without a plan, it's very unlikely that you will retain that success. In fact, it's very likely that you will lose it. For example, many people who are randomly gifted money or end up winning the lottery end up being broke or bankrupt. One of the most important uses of this law is in finances. You need to have a plan for your finances. We hear it all the time. Budget, budget, budget. We hear it, but how many of us actually do it? I remember a time when I had no plan for my finances, I had no budget, and I received a sizable amount of money. Before long, all the money had been spent, and I had nothing at all to show for it. Nothing. Fast forward now, and now I do have a budget and I do have a plan, and I make sure that every pound is accounted for. If you live in the UK, if you live elsewhere, every euro, every dollar, every rupee, every yen, whichever currency, I make sure that I can track meticulously where the money is going. It's only when I do that that I actually have tangible results to what I've used my money for. And you should do the same. if you're not doing it already. Another way to use this law is in your career. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Yes, I know it's the typical interview question, but it's important to think about. If you don't have a plan, you may end up spending your lifetime at the same company, not moving anywhere, not progressing anywhere, not developing yourself, not developing your career, just staying stagnant. It can happen if you don't have a plan. If you do have a plan, then you will know exactly what it is that you want. You will know how long you want to stay in employment. You will know whether or not you intend to leave to find another job. You will know whether or not you're merely using your job as a means of income to finance your side hustle. The options are endless. The point is, if you don't have a plan, time will pass by, and before you know it, it might be too late. Of course, there are many more examples where planning is necessary. I chose finances and career because those are the two most important subjects for me personally. If you have other subjects which are more important, then please drop them in the comments. I would like to know what you think. As important as planning is, beware that you do not overplan. Don't let yourself become too preoccupied with creating the perfect plan and thinking about all the ways in which your plan could possibly go wrong. You will tire yourself out and you will never begin. Strike a good balance between planning and action. Also, don't stick to your plan too rigidly. Of course, you have to be firm, but don't be too rigid. Let's say you have a plan to save 90% of your income, and then you end up having an unexpected child. Your plan will have to change. You have another mouth to feed. So take that into account. Law number 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. When you achieve something and you do so effortlessly, it makes your achievement look even more impressive. You don't want to look as though you're trying too hard. It looks majestic if you accomplish something really difficult while remaining calm, natural, and nonchalant. The irony of this law is that the more effortless you want something to appear, the more effort you need to put in. If you think about people you know who make what they do look effortless, the likes of Lionel Messi and Steph Curry, it looks as though they were born doing what they do. But we know they weren't born doing what they do. They got to that point because of thousands of hours of practice. Only then did they become true masters of their craft and make their accomplishments seem effortless. We use the term natural as though when they were born, these people had certain skills bestowed upon them, which obviously isn't true. The only way to get to the point where you look like a natural is to put in an unnatural amount of effort. The way I like to think about it is that there are 3 stages to making your accomplishments seem effortless. Stage number 1, conscious incompetence. This is when you 100% know that you cannot do a certain task. You're not even a beginner, you're below that. You're completely unskilled. This is you in a car not being able to distinguish the accelerator from the brake. Step number 2, conscious competence. This is when you're able to do something, but you need to be 100% focused on the task at hand. Any momentary lapse in concentration and you failed. So this is you driving the car, no music, nobody can talk to you, your eyes are glued to the road, and you're thinking about everything that's going on. You cannot be disturbed. Finally, there is unconscious competence. At this point, you are on autopilot. You're not even thinking about the task at hand. You can just do it as though you were born doing it, like a natural. This is you in the car, one hand on the steering wheel, you've got a burger in the other hand, you're having an argument with people in the back seat, and you're having a debate with a person in the passenger seat about your song choice on the radio. You're a natural, but you can only get to that point through practice, and you have to go through all the stages. Conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and finally, unconscious competence. When I used to have piano lessons as a child, my piano teacher would say to me, do not practice until you get it right, but practice until you cannot get it wrong. And that's the attitude that you have to apply to anything in life that you want to master. anything that you want to become a natural at, anything that you want to appear to be effortless. Another way to apply this law is to stay humble. There are certain people who, once they achieve something, they want the whole world to know what they achieved, how much effort they put in, how disciplined they were, and how hard they have worked, all in an attempt to impress people. Little do they know that by blowing their own trumpet and showing off, they actually defeat the purpose. Nobody is impressed by that. The most impressive thing is to let your accomplishments speak for themselves. I mentioned this when I spoke about law number 3. If you've achieved something and you want to flex about it, the last thing you want to do is to go around telling everybody about your achievement. That diminishes from the power of the flex. The true flex is to achieve something and to remain quiet about it, to just keep it moving and make it look as though that is just standard procedure. When you make your accomplishments seem effortless, it does two things. Firstly, it shows that you are a true master of your craft. You have achieved unconscious competence. And secondly, it shows that you don't do what you do for the approval of other people. You do what you do because of your own internal motivation. That is law number 28, law number 29, and law number 30 from the 48 laws of power. If you enjoyed this video, I'm certain that you will enjoy my other videos on the 48 laws of power. You will find them in this playlist. Until then, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you turn on notifications so that you can be alerted whenever a new video is released. See you next time.